Time to Think: Christianity, World Religions and Atheism. There are three possibilities for the truth of our existence. One, there is no God, which is obviously atheism, which states that religion is irrational with no truth in its substance and built on deceptive foundations. We are matter and matter only. Second possibility, there is a God and we are more than mere matter. Under this heading, two possibilities. One, all religions are true, with different pathways to God and or salvation. Or B, only one religion is true and there's only one pathway to God and salvation. The text of this talk is on my blog. The link to my blog is on the description below this video. Welcome again to my YouTube channel Talk and the 9th in the series A Time to Think. I'm Tertius Venter, a reconstructive plastic surgeon with a zeal for God, a zeal for truth, and why it is rational to believe. Religion is a complex human phenomenon and difficult to define. Definitions of religion tend to suffer from one or two problems. They are either too narrow and exclude many belief systems which most would agree are religious, or they are too vague and ambiguous, suggesting that just about anything and everything is a religion. Yet religion as a concept of something outside and greater than man is deeply embedded in human nature and present throughout the world where humans dwell, and has been present in the earliest history of Homo sapiens. Religion stems from a mysterious longing and often deep, desperate striving for the transcendent, as people do not understand their own condition well. Humankind is aware of its imperfections and has a deep-rooted disposition to understand these imperfections. It's in the nature of humans to look for purpose and meaning in everything, and also in his own imperfect existence. Man has an awareness, even so in his subconscious mind, of a greatest conceivable being of perfection, and has a longing for a better world, a better this world or a better world hereafter. Houston Smith describes religion as the deepest human awareness, which is that of a hierarchical universe, and the goal is the absorption of self into the infinite oneness, not dissimilar of seeing beauty and longing to be absorbed into it. Feuerbach, which was influenced by Marx and Freud, states that religion as man is man's projection. So we construct claims about God and then project them. We then look upon these projections and see them as objective realities. Freud says about religion that religious ideas are not the result of experiences or thoughts. They are illusions, fulfillments of deep early desires. Alban Pottinger describes the moral version of the ontological argument, and this is as follows. You might look at my blog to follow this clearly, as it would seem to be a bit confusing if you don't think carefully about it. But here it is. 1. To say that there is possibly a God is to say that there is a possible world in which God exists. 2. To say that God necessarily exists is to say that God exists in every possible world. 3. God is necessarily perfect, that is, maximally excellent. 4. Since God is necessarily perfect, He is perfect in every possible world. 5. If God is perfect in every possible world, He must exist in every possible world. Therefore, God exists. 6. God is also maximally great. To be maximally great is to be perfect in every possible world. 7. Therefore, it is possible that there is a God, means that there is a possible which contains God, that God is maximally great, and that God exists in every possible world and is consequently necessary. 8. God exists at least, God's existence is at least possible. 9. Therefore, as per 7, God exists. As I said, look at my blog and follow this argument, because it is logical and clear if you read it carefully. On a doctrinal level, the various world religions are very, very different, fundamentally different. So different that they cannot all be true. All religions have underlying ethical similarities. They all seek the truth and therefore will all have significant similar elements of truth in their teachings. Superficially, the different religions might seem the same in many ways, but at the core of each, they are very, very different. And Christianity differs the most radical from all other religions. Most world religions teach that one will be accepted by God if you are good enough. For the atheist, there can be no objective right and wrong, and hence the concept is irrelevant. You might want to look at my videos on morality and relativism. The link again is on the video below. Though it's very hard to know when and what is good enough if there is a God, like in Muslimism. At the end of your life, Allah will decide if your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds, and there's no ways that you can know that beforehand. Or one will reach salvation if he is good enough, like in Hinduism and Buddhism, which is purely about irrational religious experiences. The different world religion views about God are very different. Christianity teaches the Trinity. That is, before creation, God was one in three persons and in perfect union. I would refer you to the 5-question video by Elisa Childers. Again, the description to this video, the link to this video is in the description below. Muhammad taught that there is only one God, but that God is not a Trinity and cannot have a son. Krishna in the Hindu scriptures believed in a combination of polytheism, in other words, there are many gods, and pantheism, all is God. Confucius believed in many gods. Zoroaster taught that there are both a good God and a bad God. Buddha taught that the concept of God was essentially irrelevant. So what are the different views on being saved, to be reconciled with God or with reality? This also differs significantly between the different religions. Islam teaches that one becomes saved through submission to Allah, but that salvation can never be an absolute certainty except when dying in a jihad. Your good deeds have to outweigh your bad deeds. Hindus teach that salvation is rooted in reincarnation and karma. In Buddhism, it is reaching a state of enlightenment. Christianity teaches that one is saved by faith, that is, by believing and trusting God and Christ alone, that Christ died as the perfect and complete sacrifice for our sins, and salvation is an absolute certainty if Christ's atonement is accepted. It is impossible to factually test Hinduism, Buddhism, or Mormonism as objectively true. It is all about subjective experiences that one just have to accept as true. Buddhism is an atheistic religion. God is without substance and reality is denied. For Buddhism, ultimate reality is monistic, that is, denying the existence of a distinction between matter and mind, or between God and the world. It seems as one reality, yet reality is denied. One cannot question or rationally think about Buddhism, one can only experience it. The truth of Buddhism and its teachings rests solely on experience, on psychological factors. It is works-orientated in terms of enlightenment. To reach a state of nirvana, that is a state of desirelessness and passionlessness. Enlightenment is an experience. Reason plays no role. If you can't reach nirvana in this life, you can try again through incarnation. To finally reach enlightenment is to escape this cycle into nothingness. Islam claimed to be objectively true, but there are serious inconsistencies and incoherencies in the Quran as well as in the Hadith. The Quran is 100% authentic. The Hadith 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 is 100% though it should not be criticized. To criticize the Quran is to show disrespect to the books of Allah and is seen as apostasy. Whoever does this has expelled himself from Islam. It is an apostasy to doubt the Quran or to disagree with it or not to believe it, even if it's only one single verse. All the world religions seek to take bad men and make them better men by ethics. Christianity, in contrast, seeks to take dead men and make them alive. More specifically, Christianity seeks to take people who are spiritually dead, which means you are separated from God because of sin, and make them spiritually alive so they can enjoy a personal relationship with God who created them. Thus, much more about a relationship than about religion and rules and trying to be good. This is what makes Christianity unique. Religious experiences alone is never sufficient to demonstrate the truth of a religion. Christianity is the only religion where religious experiences are important, but the factual claim of Christianity can be tested objectively, and everything depends on the resurrection. If the resurrection of Christ is false, did not happen, Christianity is false. Christianity is evidential and testable, historically and experientially. If it is wrong, then you can just move on. With Buddhism and Hinduism, though, you must be in for the long haul of experiences, the attempts to reach salvation and hopefully experience the escape from this endless cycle of life. Grace is unique to Christianity. Others offer hard way to earn salvation. The best that Buddhists and Christian scientists can do is to deny evil as an illusion, yet we face it every day. Or the atheist who has no explanation for evil, just brute fact of life, just bad luck. Christians can confront evil, explain it, and they have an ultimate solution to evil, Jesus Christ. And here I refer you to my Time to Think 4th video on evil, pain and suffering. The link to this video below this in the description. Is atheism true? Can it be true that there is no God? You decide as you consider Alban Plantinga's ontological argument. Consider all the different arguments in Frank Turek's book, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. And also my series, A Time to Think, with all my arguments for the existence of God. Buddhism, Hinduism, and other Eastern religions are not rational, but based on subjective experiences. Muslimism is in part rational, for example, the existence of a creator, but the origins of this religion, the ethics as taught in the Quran, as well as the reliability of the ancient scripts, raise serious questions, yet are not allowed to be criticized. It should be clear that all religions might superficially be the same in some minor ways, but fundamentally very different. So different, so contradictory that only one can be true. Christianity is open to scrutiny on every level and can be rationally defended. Most importantly, the facts about the resurrection of Christ on which Christianity stands or falls. Is atheism open to scrutiny? Not really, because atheist rarely makes positive statements about the non-existence of God, and neither ever present good arguments that God does not exist. It is not like there is no burden on someone to prove that there is no unicorns. Why do I say this? Because there are no good arguments for the existence of unicorns, and hardly anyone believes that they do exist. But there are very strong arguments and evidence for the existence of God. And if the atheist makes a truth claim that God does not exist, then he has to present arguments why not. The atheist only tries to refute the arguments for God's existence or argue that he is not necessary to explain the universe. They seldom present any positive arguments why he does not exist or present answers for why there is something rather than nothing, or answers to what caused the universe, how and why the extreme fine-tuning for life, What about the integrated informational complexity of DNA? How is it possible that this does not point to a mind? What about evil, the existence of evil, rather than just say it is bad luck or just how it is? And the explanation for objective morality. Except maybe for explanations that are pure speculative theories. For example, the multiverse for fine-tuning, or the oscillating universe theory to explain the cause of the universe, the beginning of the universe. Only Christianity, as the truth of our existence can be experienced, can rationally be defended, and is factually testable. On my website, I state my personal experience like this. The radical change that took place in my heart was not from a rational decision, but in response to an overwhelming love that became rational. Which truth about our existence is more plausible? Atheism, Christianity, or one or all of the known world religions? You decide. If you find what was argued here useful, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Share it with your family and friends and on your social media. This will be of a huge help to spread the message why it is rational to believe in God. Facts that parents, children, students, and people wondering about the reality of God should know and perhaps find helpful. Thank you.